Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So my friend Nolan is here with me again, and we are doing a recap of the 2019 Four Continents Championships. Yes, we are fully aware that it's 1 week later, but if you want to support Nolan and I, support my channel, or you just love talking about skating, then continue watching. Nolan, are you ready for this?
I am, yes. I'm very excited, although we're a little bit delayed.
Absolutely. So you sound really excited to talk about the ladies. So let's go ahead and start there.
Okay.
And I would say that overall the competition was a lot more interesting than Four Continents usually is, in my opinion. And the ladies did not disappoint with all the drama. And I'd say the biggest thing to note is the change with the podium placements between the short program and the long program. So, of course, Rika Kihira of Japan, I'm going to use my favorite word this season, undefeated, still
Yes.
undefeated. The biggest surprise was that she was actually fourth after the short, but won the competition. The key factor being the triple axel, popped it in the short, but brought it back in the free. Only did one, but that was all she needed. What is your take on Rika?
Yeah, so she's one of my favorites this season. I'm so excited to see someone who's their first year on the Senior Grand Prix, and they're having kind of a Russian moment that we've seen the past few years with the Russian juniors turning senior. So I think it's really refreshing to see that from a skater from a different country. It's very exciting. And with Rika, it seems that that short program is really her nemesis this year, especially the triple axel in the short program. She typically nails them in the long, but as we saw, she popped it in the short. And the judges are very generous with her scores, I think, otherwise, because that triple axel being popped, I mean, she gets no points for it, but yet her score is still a high 60. So I think it is a little generous just because, you know, it's her first year senior. But, I mean, she's earned it. I mean, they're really trying to propel her, I think, to set an example that the senior ladies should be doing more difficult jumps technically, and because Rika's doing that, the triple axel and then the triple axel in combination with the triple toe loop, I think it's a good idea for them to really be propelling her, and I'm happy to see her win here.
Yeah, it's good to see that it's not just all about the Russians.
No.
And by the way, those of you watching may have remembered that I made a video only on Rika Kihira a few months ago, and I said, oh, she had such an amazing debut season on the Senior Grand Prix. We haven't seen anything like this before. And then people reminded me that Zagitova was a thing, the Olympic season, and I totally forgot. It was totally my fault. But yeah, Rika is an example that you don't have to be Russian to dominate your first year seniors. And that triple axel, it's so interesting. It's either done really horribly or really well. Like it's a bad
Yes.
pop or a really bad fall, or it's like perfect with like speed coming out of it. So yeah, she'll have to figure out how to conquer that nemesis of hers.
She's also very good at thinking on her feet, I've noticed.
Hmm.
Like in past competition, when she'll do triple axel double toe loop by mistake perhaps, and then she'll often insert the triple toe loop on the triple lutz. So it's very clever thinking. I don't know here, she might have planned to go for double axel triple toe, but again, she added that other triple later on in the program, so that's good to see.
She's always.
Also, yeah.
Oh no, you go.
Yeah, okay. I was just saying for me, the clear favorite program is the free. The short, it's just fine. Like, it does the job, but for me, the free is really something special.
Yeah, she has a moment, more of a moment in the free, so that's what I
Yeah,
like.
me
And
too.
then we have surprise silver medal winner here from Kazakhstan, Elizabet Tursynbaeva, and going for the quad Salchow in the free program. That came at me out of nowhere. No, it was not landed. I'm aware of that, but the attempt was grand, I would say.
Yeah, for me, honestly, Elizabeth was the moment of the four continents for me personally, just because of how nice it was to see her kind of, you know, she was known to be a skater who thought was to have a lot of potential, but kind of, you know, went down by the wayside. Perhaps I don't know if she was given priority at the cricket club, and maybe that's what it was, because that is where she trained before. She's at, of course, Sambo 70 now.
Hmm.
And I was just so happy to see her. And for me, these programs, the short and the free, are the best she's ever had. I think that they have done a wonderful job with her, I have to say. I really think she connects with the music, and I think the choreography is really suited to her. I mean, that camp is known to really be good at training, you know, girls who are very petite. And I think the coaching change has really benefited from her. And as you said, she started off the free program with the quad Sao Cow. And although she didn't land it, it was deemed fully rotated. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's the key there. I was so excited to see her.
Yeah, it was a nice surprise. And I'm not going to lie, I never got into Elizabet, even from the beginning, when people were shouting that, oh, she has so much potential, she's Brian Orser's new pupil. I tend to become a fan of a skater once they've proven themselves. And the younger they are, the more I'm a little hesitant to become a super fan of theirs. But she seems to be growing a little bit more, maybe skating a little faster than she used to, and her jumps are consistent. And you're right, the programs do make a difference, because I'm thinking back of the Olympic season when she skated to Carmen, which I did not think was appropriate at all. So kudos to her camp right now in Russia, correct?
Yes, that's right, with Eteri.
Yes, with Eteri for choosing some nicer programs for her. And, of course, they're going to work on the consistency of the jump. So we'll see what she brings in the World Figure Skating Championships in about a month from now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was never a fan of hers either, Justin. It's really just the four continents here that have really turned me on to her. It was just out of nowhere, these beautiful programs and the technical content. I'm now a fan of hers.
I'm a fan of her mom. Have you seen her mom in the Kiss and Cry? She's hilarious.
Yes, that's one thing we're missing with the coaching change is I don't think Eteri is going to be allowing her mom in the Kiss and Cry anymore, but I used to always look forward to her.
That's unfortunate, so same here. Yeah. And then we have another fan favorite winning a medal here, Mai Mihara. That was a little surprising to most because she was in 8th place after the short program. Also, sometimes the short program seems to be a nemesis for her. Mainly, I'm thinking of her first World Figure Skating Championships. In the short program, not only did she double her intended triple jump, but she fell on it. So that's 0 points and then a -1, which is the worst thing you want to do in a short program. But she rallied back in the long. I think even placed higher than my girl Gabby Daleman that year, but was 4th overall. So it seems to be the same story here. So she'll have to figure out how to nail that short program. Otherwise, the long is always lovely.
Yeah, she's not my favorite skater, just not my favorite style of skating, but I do always tend to find myself rooting for her because you can just tell she's just such a lovely girl. And she was kind of snubbed out of the bronze medal at the Japanese Nationals. So I was so happy to see her assigned to the four continents here. I think that was just because the Federation saw how close she was, and she did skate 2 clean programs at the National Championship. So to give her an opportunity here was great, and she made use of that and won the bronze medal. And like you said, that free skate was from last season as well. So I think that's really a comfort level for her, and she's been skating that clean all season. So to me, that wasn't the surprise.
Yeah. In the past, I've been criticized for saying that her skating was a little juniorish, and I stand by that comment, despite all the people coming at me. But I will say she's improved on that aspect of her skating. Looks a little more mature, a little, more age-appropriate music for her. And I don't know, she's becoming more of a lady on ice to me, maybe skating a little better, a little faster, but her jumps have always been good. And I don't remember someone on Twitter, if I can quote them, maybe it's the account Skating Scores, somehow did the math and deemed that Mai is actually one of the most consistent Japanese skaters in terms of international competitions. And I'm not surprised by that at all.
No, I fully believe that. And to what you were saying, I do think she doesn't quite cover the ice the same as some of the more veteran competitors. So I agree with you. She does come off a little bit juniorish. But I have noticed an improvement from this season to last season. She's a little bit more facially aware, and the programs I think are better suited to her. The short program especially is a good change from what we saw from her last season. So yeah, I think she's moving in the right direction. I don't know if her longevity in the sport will be great just because there's so many great junior Japanese skaters that we'll be seeing in the coming years, but this bronze for her I think was what she needed.
Yeah. Oh, are there really a lot of junior Japanese skaters?
Yeah, there's a nice few. There's one that I'm really looking forward to seeing, Johanna Yokoi. She's been known to practice triple axel as well. Oh. She's on the coaching team that Akiko Suzuki was once with. So.
Oh, I love Akiko.
Yeah. I think that'll
Okay.
be fun to see.
I'll keep an eye out for her because I'm actually going to watch Junior Worlds for the first
Oh,
time ever this year because I'm filming a recap with somebody. So I'll look out for her.
please do.
Yeah, and also she is an alternate for the World Figure Skating Championships. So if someone backs out, one of the Japanese ladies, I have no doubt that she'll be ready and prepared to perform really well for Japan.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
And then we have another Japanese skater in fourth place, Kaori Sakamoto. And if you watched her free skate, it looked like it was going to be perfect until the very last jump, I believe, where she had
Yeah.
a fall. And how unfortunate, because she was really close to the bronze medal, just a little less than a point away from winning.
And I think we were talking about it, Justin, that it was even a little bit surprising to see her third with a clean short program.
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, I think she should have been. Was Bradie first after the short program? I think so.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So, I mean, I would have been okay to see Kaori, from what she did and what other competitors did, to see her first after the short program. I find her to be just a bigger skater in general than Bradie, although I think Mariah could have been held up higher as well. So between those two, yeah, I think she also popped a jump in the free. She did a couple things towards the end, I think, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, let me double check with the protocols here.
Yeah.
She definitely had a great start to the program because I remember
Yeah.
watching live and thinking that she absolutely had it. Kaori, actually, what was. Oh, yeah, she just popped the axle.
Okay.
And then I think that was it. Maybe she intended for one of her last two combinations to be a triple triple when it was just a triple double. That
I
could have
think
been
so.
it.
Yeah.
And also, I'm looking at the results. So what I said earlier, I was incorrect. Rika was not fourth after the short; she was fifth. So even
Right.
more alarming. But let's talk about who actually placed fifth here. Bradie Tennell. Why was that such a surprise? Was because she got a really big score after the short program, skated really well, so she deserved all the hype. Saw a lot of criticism online that many people said Mariah Bell should have been a lot higher or closer to Bradie, but it was just unfortunate that really the long program kind of fell apart, and I think it just had to do with pressure.
So I have a little bit of a criticism myself. Don't come for me, people
Oh,
on
go
Twitter.
for it. Yeah.
But so a lot of people are saying that they see like this vast improvement from her from last season.
Okay.
And I don't think it's so much an improvement within herself or her skating skills. I think it's more so just the program selection.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think the short program obviously is a great fit for her. That's kind of like the popular consensus. And I agree. It's kind of dark. It's not something you would have expected to see from her after last season, but I think it works really well for her and the choreography is good. But I think it shows more so in the free skate that it's really not her being the best performer ever. I'm not wowed or anything by the free skate. She's attempting more difficult technical content this year. She's going for the triple Lutz triple loop, which, by the way, I think perhaps her coaching team should take a look at it and maybe remove it.
Yes.
Because I don't think there's any reason why she couldn't be skating clean other than, that pressure in her mind that the triple Lutz triple loop is coming up in the free skate. So I think if they just took that out, she would be just fine.
Yeah, and a loop is really hard to do as the second jump of a triple triple combination.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not. Maybe she has better consistency with it in practice, but you actually kind of should at this point be going off of what do you do best in competition, because you really do have to rotate and nail all your jumps to be in contention for a medal, especially for Worlds. So we'll have to see what happens there. I know that there's a lot of articles and people talking about how Bradie was branded as the consistent one way too early. And I will say that I proudly never jumped on that bandwagon, despite all the commentators and some of the fans being so excited that she was always consistent. I was like, if her first season as an international, sure, she won a bronze medal at Skate America. That might have been because Ashley Wagner withdrew, and then she won nationals and did okay after that. But this season I don't see the consistency that everyone else is talking about, and I also think I have very high standards for what I call consistent. So rarely under rotating your jumps, like not even stepping out of your jumps often. Like it's no longer about not falling.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not just falling. It's if you're really rotating those jumps and if you're performing the elements nearly the best of your ability every time. I mean, that all plays into it.
Yeah. Then next up from the United States, Mariah Bell really killed it in the short program. That was something really special.
Yeah, so she has become, I think, my favorite U.S. lady over the years.
Hmm.
She's just lacking that consistency. She has everything else. I mean, she's just a natural performer, and these are two programs that I think are really great for her, especially the short program. I've been saying all season that her short program is in my top 3 of my favorite short programs from this season. I just love it. I think it's a little bit cheesy in a certain ways, but
Is it because
I love
Celine
it.
Dion is Canadian?
That's part of it for sure. And I'm a French student, and she's a French Canadian, so perhaps. But I think Adam Rippon has done a wonderful job with the choreography as well.
He definitely has. Yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
fan of that short program as well. It's great to see her nail that Lutz toe combination. Wasn't sure if that toe was going to be rotated, but they called it clean. Yay!
He gave it to her.
But yeah, that free program was, not something that she should be too proud of. I know a lot of us American fans are a little worried about the U.S. gaining back 3 spots, but the team is Bradie and Mariah Bell, and they're going to have to be really clean, maybe hope for some help from the other ladies to secure 3 spots for the United States. But
Yep.
either way, I think this was a good opportunity for both of them to go out there, get their programs again. It was on home turf, so traveling probably wasn't as much of a hassle. I just really wish they could have won a really big medal. They got their small medals after the short program, but small
Yeah,
steps.
I think it's a little concerning that this season Mariah has taken out a lot of her technical content, like the triple triple in the free skate, but has yet, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think she's delivered a clean free skate yet. I think she's been close, but I don't think it's been perfectly clean from under rotations and whatnot. So I think that's a little concerning moving forward. As well, I think if the U.S. ladies want to secure 3 spots, I think it's imperative that Bradie takes out that triple Lutz triple loop.
Yes, at least in
Yeah.
this short program. But actually, I don't
Yeah.
know. Who knows if she can land it in the long under pressure, but I definitely agree. Did you get a chance to watch Eunsoo Lim of Korea?
I did, yes. And she also had a really great short program that, again, in my top 3, I would say, of my favorite short programs from the ladies this season. But the judges just don't quite seem to go with it for whatever reason. Like, she has yet to crack 70 points, I think, in that short program, which is astounding to me because she skated it clean a couple of times. She was more or less clean, I think, here. I think there was a little issue on the triple toe, but it was, it was fine.
Yeah.
And then I think at the NHK Trophy, she was clean in the short there, too. But for some reason, they have her in the high 60s, which I don't quite understand compared to, like, I think they gave Ting Sui at some point in time at an international event above 70, but yet Eunsoo skating, I don't know. But it was disappointing to me.
Yeah, I was also surprised by the score. So I think, don't kill me, people. I have a busy life. This is my first time seeing her skate. I did watch it live, and I went, wow, this girl is, looks very good for her age, mature, lovely body carriage, like upper body posture, beautiful skating. And the score came up, and I went, oh, that's lower than I thought it was going to be because she skates like a star.
Yeah, she does. She has that star quality, and I don't think the free skate fits her as well as the short program. But I'm not going to knock the free skate too much because I think it does have some wonderful moments. And my girl, Akiko Suzuki, choreographed it. So,
oh, yes, we're not knocking
praise.
that.
No.
Okay, who are some other ladies you want to mention?
Well, we can talk about, I have a little comment on the 2 girls that are coached by Tom Zakrajcek here. It was Ting Sui from the U.S. and Yelim Kim from the Republic of Korea. I think both have great potential. I think at this point in time, Yelim Kim has it a little more than Ting, just my opinion. I don't think everyone feels that way, but just my opinion.
Go for it.
But I think, I think that Ting has a great, future in the sport, perhaps. But I have to say, from that coaching team, there has been an issue this season with music selection because I've yet to see one skater from that coaching team with really good music. Like, for me, the music put to Yelim Kim and Ting Sui kind of lull you asleep a little bit as you watch it. I don't think they're at a point where they can really skate to these big classical pieces of music and really interpret it properly, you know, as maybe a Carolina Costner or someone like that could. So I think maybe going forward, a good decision would be to reevaluate where the skater is at in their life and maybe select music better. I don't know if you have seen the programs from Young You this season.
No.
No, okay. Well, she has a good short program, and she's from that camp, so it can be done. But just,
okay.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that the issue you mentioned is not specific to this season.
Oh, no.
I think that camp, obviously everyone knows Tom Sakrychak as a coach who likes to focus on gaining consistency through lots of repetition of the jumps. And I think that's where he places most of his emphasis through to his schooling background. You know, there's positives and negatives to that approach, but sometimes the negatives are very jarring, especially when the jumps aren't consistent in the skaters.
Yeah, I had hoped to see some improvement this season because he's now working with Tammy Gamble, and she's done some wonderful programs with Karen Chen. So I was just kind of hoping maybe that would translate a little more, but in my opinion, it hasn't.
No, so I did not watch Yelim of Korea, but I did see Ting because, you know, she's American and she's all the talk right now. And I'm not going to lie, I got so many messages from my friends even and from people saying, Justin, Ting is the next thing. We like her. Watch out for her. And I watched her and I said, you know, she's good at the U.S. Nationals, but it's way too early to even try to predict her future. And people are like, no, we think she's consistent. I'm like, let's give it time. Not gonna lie, I saw her at U.S. Nationals, was amazing. She skated so well that she's earned a spot at Four Continents. The short program was really good. I'll hold back from saying great. It was good for her. The free program, I just expected a lot more. So I think if skating fans or the Federation, if we can pull back the verbal excitement so that she has time to really focus and grow at her own pace, that might be better for her in the long run.
I agree, and I don't even think she's really been all that consistent. I think she's actually really struggled putting two clean programs together. Like, it was the same thing at U.S. Nationals. I think she had a very disastrous short program, but then was perfectly clean, well, from my point of view, in the free skate, so, yeah.
Yeah, but, you know, I did see her, you know, maybe this is a good lessons learned early on in her competitive career. Then we move on. You'll like this fact. 2 Canadian ladies in the top 10, and the leading lady actually being Veronik Mallet, your favorite. I'm so glad she delivered in the free program. She was relatively clean, actually both parts, but that free program was pretty clean, especially by her standards, to the Adele program, and it was just lovely. It was great to see her deliver.
Yeah, so the Adele program is definitely my favorite of the two. I mean, it's just beautiful. And you said, Justin, people were coming for you on Twitter because they thought it wasn't unique or something.
Yes.
But, oh my.
It's like, have you listened to all the other music selections this weekend? Okay.
No, it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, and her longtime choreographer, David Wilson, does a wonderful job with her. They really bring out her delicate feet, you know, her arm movements and things like that. I think she just skates to it so well. And it is a little different, actually, for her to skate to. I think in the past we've seen her skate to more classical pieces of music. So even the short program, I think, is a little bit of a deviation from what we've seen from her in the past. And I was just so happy to see her finish in the top 10 here. I don't think that was really expected. But she went clean in the short program, and I think her only issue in the free skate, jumping-wise, was she popped her triple loop, which has been an issue in the past. She did the exact same mistake at the Finlandia Trophy, and she fell on it at Nationals. So I just really wish she had that down.
Did she really pop her loop in the short? I thought she went
in the
clean.
free.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was like, yeah. Speaking of the short, though, she was clean, but I thought she was kind of lowballed. So I'm wondering if it's because the judges kind of forgot about her a little bit, or she skated too early. But I thought that was a respectable skate. She did place lower than Larkyn Austman, who had a mistake on the double axel, though. So that was an interesting.
Yeah, that bothered me a little bit because, like you said, Larkyn had a mistake on the double axel, and I do actually think that Larkyn's short program is really well choreographed for her, and I do really like it. I'm not the biggest fan of Larkyn's skating style myself, but I like the program, so I can understand how they went with it a little bit more. But based on the mistake, I would have just thought, and the technical content being so similar, that Veronique would have been ahead of her just because of that.
Yeah, and unfortunate news for Larkyn, she did not meet the technical minimums to compete at Worlds, so she's not an option anymore to make the world team. But on the flip side, Aurora Kotop made the technical minimums at her
Yes.
Challenger Series event in Germany. So Skate Canada has some thinking to do. I know Gabby Daleman was on Instagram Live, and she did say that she's unsure if she wants to compete at Worlds, which is totally fine. But,
Yeah.
to think of the positives, Skate Canada has options. And someone who is for sure going is Elaine Chartrand, who would like to forget this competition existed.
Yeah, I was just going to say I saw a lot of people when Larkin's scores came out for the short program. They commented that she didn't make the technical minimum, that she was out of the running for Worlds. But to me, was she in the running to begin with? Like, I don't really understand what people were saying there, because like she finished, she doesn't really have anything to show for as to why she should be named to the world team. So as to why people were saying, oh no, like she didn't make the technical minimum, like people, I really don't think that's the biggest issue here. Like I don't think she was going to be named to the team regardless.
Skating fans love drama.
I suppose. Yeah, that's true.
And American fans like to talk about Canadian drama because it doesn't involve them.
Yeah. Like same with Canadians to the US.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I guess we've seen it earlier this season from Elaine. She has it in her to stay on her feet.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that Elaine Chartrand shows up to Worlds.
Yeah, I mean, I think she did. You said to me at some point maybe she might not want to compete, and that's possible. But I think that she will. I mean, I hope she will, because if Canada wants to even keep 2 spots, I mean, if Gabby is not going to be there, I think we at least need Elaine, because in the off chance that Elaine can put a program or 2 together, I think she would still place higher than, say, Aurora or whoever else would be there. Yeah,
That's right. Someone else I wanted to mention, Kaitlyn Crane. Ooh, that free program was so tough to watch. She did look gorgeous in that dress, though. But the reason why I'm bringing her up, one, she's my girl. I have to talk about her.
Oh, yeah.
But the short program was huge for her because the first time she cracked 60 points internationally, which is really hard for her to do. The judges really don't reward her on the program components, but she did go for the triple loop combination. The second triple loop was under rotated. It happens, but it was good to see her go for it.
Yeah, she typically skates the short program on her feet. It's just normally the issue of under rotations that gets her. But I really like her too, so I was happy to see her get over 60 in the short program.
Yeah. Anybody else you wanted to mention?
I just had a brief comment. It stood out to me, something from the competition. Yelim Kim of the Republic of Korea. The one thing I liked about her was the short program music. By no means is she my favorite skater, nor, do I tend to root for her or anything. I root for all the skaters, but, she's not one of my favorites. But I was just really taken aback by the music choice. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. It's to A River Flows Within. And I mean, that could have been something put to Yuna Kim. I mean, I just was like, wow, like, great music choice. Too bad, maybe it could have been put to Eunsoo or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look at that and see if I agree with you.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Okay, let's move on to men's. And we need to say congratulations to Shoma Uno of Japan for winning a gold medal. Silver streak is over temporarily. But not only did he win, I think the huge thing was that he got a huge score, 289 overall. That's big. And he was not entirely clean all this competition, but especially in the short. The landings were a struggle here. Who knows if the ankle injuries he's been dealing with are still lingering. But that free program, he was able to rack up the points because he did 3 quad jumps and he did 2 triple axels in the bonus, and one was in combination with a Euler and then a triple flip. I've been seeing online a lot of people are questioning all the rotation calls, which, by the way, have been totally inconsistent the entire competition. The tech calls have been just all over the place, like forgiving and then really not forgiving. But I questioned some of his rotations in the free skate, but
Mhm.
it is what it is, and he should be happy with the win here.
Yeah, Shomo, I think, has become one of my favorite men's skaters just because I think he has a really great mix of artistry and technical ability. And I was really excited to see him land his quad flip in the free skate because I know that's something he had to take out of his programs for a little bit because he had that injury or whatever.
Hmm.
But yeah, his short program was not great. But he did beat, I think, for the first time in a number of years, his total score. Like he defeated Yuzuru Hanyu's top score or something like that. So wow. Hmm.
Yeah, I know that's caused a lot of controversy. I won't
Yeah.
get into that today because I'm on the fence. But Boyang Jin of China, it's nice to see him rebound a little bit. Kind of went through a little bit of a funk this season. And shout out to my friend Lupita. He is her personal favorite skater, so he did well here. Went for the difficult jumps, just as difficult as Nathan Chen or Vincent Zhou would go for. Wasn't totally clean. The landings are fought for. And I don't know why. I watched Boyang Jin and I rewatched his programs last night. So, the criticism about him is it's all tech, no artistry. But I gotta say, he's improved the artistry part a little bit. It's nowhere close to where it needs to be, don't get me wrong. But you can see that he's making an effort, or maybe the effort is just paying attention to the choreography in both the short and long. Whether or not you think it personally works for him or not is your personal taste. But I do appreciate that he's trying, even in like the costumes in the short program. I like seeing the gold blades on his skates. And then I think the free program, ooh, he just sells it, especially for the last 20 seconds. It puts a smile on my face.
No, I was going to say the same comment. I see a big improvement. Well, maybe not, but I see a significant improvement from last season. I mean, you can tell that he and his coaching team really try and put the effort in, which is nice to see. Because a lot of the times, if you have a skater who has the technical ability, sometimes you have a tendency to just completely forget about the artistry or the choreography. But you can tell that they're doing, like, making a significant effort to try and improve that. And they've been sending him to Lori Nickel for a couple of years now. So I really hope to see some benefit from that at some point in time. And like you said, the costuming even, like you could just tell the effort has really went into it.
Yeah, what was I going to say? I had a thought a minute ago, and then it just slipped my mind. He has been making an effort. Costume. Oh, I just think steer clear of lyrical music choices. Like,
Oh yeah.
let's not even try that for a few years.
Stick to music from Marvel movies.
Yes, that's actually a good one because it gets crowd
Yeah,
recognition. Yeah.
absolutely.
And then we have winning the bronze medal here, Vincent Zhou. It was interesting to see his two programs here. Obviously, the judges really rewarding him in the short program. He cracked 100 for the first time internationally in the short program. Caused a lot of controversy because he got 0 under rotation calls. A lot of people seem to think that the quadlets was under maybe his other quad too. I have no opinion. I just go, I'm the kind of person that looks at the protocols and goes, Whereas my friends will be like, that was under, no, that was rotated. I was like, this is what the judges say. Okay, so yeah. But it seems like the judges were not easy on him in the free. So there's some pretty inconsistencies there. Either way, it looks like he's happy with his bronze medal, even though he kind of wanted to win, it seemed like, as well.
Yeah, like you said, the judging was very bizarre here. I mean, I'm not quite sure how you can call all of his jumps clean in the short program and then like really take a big hit in the free skate when, to the naked eye, to me anyway, they seem very similar. I mean, I've noticed in the free skate his quad lut seemed clean. I mean, the other quads to me were a question. His quad sow, I think it is, that he goes for, to me is always under road. Like I've
Yeah.
very rarely seen that clean. I don't even know why he tries that one. But the Lutz was good in the free. I don't think he's the most artistic. I think I saw somewhere he said he wanted to be a contender coming up at the next Olympic cycle. That's a big statement to make. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, maybe I can elaborate on that too. This is not going to be totally nice, but the reason why we do this is so we can state our honest opinions.
Yeah.
I will say that it doesn't seem like his coaching team is looking at the results with the right perspective. His coach has been giving statements saying judging is weird, judging is off. It's like, or you can just focus on exercise and acknowledge that Vincent tends to under-rotate his quads. And, you know, maybe you can work on making sure they're really extra rotated, depending on if the tech collar is harsh or not. That's my 2 cents.
No, I completely agree. And maybe a good thing to do might be to look at some of the artistic changes you can make instead of just continuing to pack on the technical content that's already under question.
Mm-hmm. We agree there. And then Keegan Messing wins a small medal. He was third in the free skate portion, so good for him, but was fourth overall. Really close. I was rooting for him, but he should be happy with this fourth place finish because he actually skated well, relatively well in both programs. No major pops or falls, so kudos to him.
Yeah, I was mainly happy to see him skate relatively clean in the free skate. That is a new feat for him. He struggled with that for a number of years. And this season, he got his best ever score in the free skate by some way. So I think that was really nice to see. I'm always a huge fan of Keegan's, ever since he came to Canada.
That's right. Now, this is 4 continents, so the field is going to be a lot more difficult at Worlds. He did do 2 quad toes in the free. I think if he really wants to crack that top 6 at Worlds, maybe go for 2 quads in the short, maybe learn a quad Sao Cow, and that might be his long-term goal. That might not be his goal this season, but I'm just saying, giving him some advice because he is really close to taking it to the next level. I will say I'm a little excited for him next season because I want to see new programs.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that'll be exciting. And I saw a video, his free skate from 4 continents. A commentator was expecting him to do quad lutz. I don't know if that was a mistake. Oh. Yeah, I've never seen him do quad lutz, so I don't know if that was a mistake on the commentator's part or if he went for a triple lutz instead. I don't know.
I think I've seen him attempt it once.
Okay,
I have to go my records. Yeah, but landing one clean, I'm not sure. Maybe someone in the comments will correct us.
Yes, please.
And then, do you have any comments about Jason Brown in 5th place?
Yes. So Jason has, for me, my favorite short program of the men's. Too. Yeah, it's really something special. And even the costuming, I like the purple stripes, like the little paint slicks on his shirt. I think it's really clever. And he's been doing that relatively clean, I think, in the past couple competitions, which was nice to see. He was clean here in the short. It's been a few days, okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that was nice. And he went for the quad Sao Cow, which is most notable in the free skate, which I think is super necessary. If he wants to really make a stab at his seeing improvement in his career, I think he just needs to throw the quads in there. Just my opinion. I know they're not the most consistent, and maybe keep them out of the short program for the time being, but I think to continue to go for that quad Sao Cow is what he needs to do.
The quad attempt is getting less and less disastrous. I mean, because sometimes that has been popped into a double Sao Cow, and it's like, not even a triple? Yikes.
Yeah, and we've seen in the past the rotation has just not been close, but it was close here, I would say.
He went for it, so I commend him for that. It's really cool to see the interactions between him and Tracy and Brian. So that's been very special to us skating fans this season.
Yeah. I think he has a preference to Tracy. They seem to have a close bond. Yeah.
But I think Brian's good for him.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, so Jason, I know you love to be happy and joyous all the time, but sometimes you got to reel it in for competition purposes.
Yes.
And then Junhwa Cha of the Republic of Korea. Woo! Great short program, but the free program is a fan favorite to a lot of people, despite it being too Romeo and Juliet. I call it Romeo and Juliet goes clubbing, so there's a twist there, and I can appreciate it. I believe there were like 5 under rotation calls in that free program, and I think he knew it, so the performance wasn't there. I saw him live at Skate Canada, and I was just blown away, but no, did not get the same feeling here, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's one of my new favorites as well, and I was happy to see him get a new season's best. I think it was a high 90 in the short program. So to really crack 100, I think it's just a matter of the technical difficulty of needing to put in the more difficult quads. But, I mean, that is perfectly fine for now, I think. And yeah, you could see those under rotations too. Like they weren't ones you were unsure about in the free. Like they were very striking under rotations. So that was unfortunate. But I do like that program. But I agree with you. It was not his best performance-wise either.
Great. Did you watch the seventh place finisher here from Japan? Is it Keiji Tanaka?
I didn't catch his skates. No.
Me neither. So we apologize, but it seemed like he had a respectable skate, considering his experience. I did want to mention my favorite American, Tomoki Hiwatashi. He delivered just as I expected him to. And no, I didn't expect him to be perfect, but what I said in my Nationals recap is that he grits the landings, which I can appreciate because that can garner you some points. And, you know, he did have to grit out quite a few in both programs, but I like that he stayed on the feet and he used that momentum. It almost like he, like, gets a high off of saving a jump. So it, like, gives him more energy to do those amazingly flexible Russian splits and cantilevers and performances. So this is really good for him. I know he's heading to Junior Worlds, which is so soon, so I get to see him again. But I'm mainly happy that he had this experience and he'll gain some world points and hopefully will be assigned to 2 Grand Prix assignments in the fall.
And I think it speaks volumes that he was able to get as far as 8th place here, because although we were missing, of course, some top contenders, I mean, it was a pretty deep field, I would say. Yeah, so I mean, kudos to him. I think he has a bright future.
Yeah, and then Brendan Carey, he had some high moments and low moments. It seems to be the trend for him in a lot of his competitions. The short program, I just think, ooh, what a nice quad, and then that axle. So consistency is an issue for him, but I do love him when he's on.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
People don't like his Grease-free program. I'm not going to lie. I like it, but I haven't seen Grease, so maybe he's doing a disservice to the movie. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I haven't seen the movie either, but I like it as well.
And then Nam Nguyen, my personal favorite Canadian male skater. Top 10 here. I'd say I was hoping he'd do better, but given his history, this is actually kind of good for him. He did have a slight ankle injury, so that kind of explains the issues on his jumps. Everyone's going to be talking about his free program where he unbuttoned a little too much of his shirt that I think was actually distracting because you could see him trying to like hold it together. So I think it held him back from really going for the jumps. But, you know, he had a good sense of humor about it. He posted on Instagram and said, "Did I try to do a striptease? Hashtag thank you next." So
yeah. I think he would be overall pretty happy with the top 10 here. I mean, he hasn't had the best results as of late, so we'll see how he does in the future. I think I said in our last video that I really think he needs to add in the more difficult quads if he wants to kind of, you know, creep up the ladder.
Yeah, and then I think for Worlds, really his goal should just be qualify for the free skate.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, so don't put too much pressure on yourself. Leave it all to Keegan. And then Nicholas Nadeau also had a respectable showing here from Canada. It seemed like he really wanted to do a lot better than he actually did, but I thought his free skate was fine. Maybe he's a perfectionist.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything wrong with how he did here. He was just outside the top 10, correct? Yeah. Okay.
11.
So I think that's respectable for him. I mean, he goes for the quads. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only 2 spots for Canadian men at Worlds, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have a question for you. I loved his skating last year, especially to the Elvis number. This year, I think the injury has really thrown him off quite a bit. I'm seeing a difference in how he carries himself and his posture. It's just, you know, it's almost like growing pains, although I don't think he's grown that much. But I think that injury has kind of hindered his overall skating, jumps, and basic skating.
No, I agree. There's definitely something going on there, because for me, the first time I really saw him perform at a high level was at Canadian Nationals. Like even though the jumps weren't there, but like his performance quality is what I mean. Like especially in that free skate, I think he was missing that connection to the music at the beginning of the season, and then we saw it at Canadian Nationals, and then it seemed to dwindle a little bit at the Four Continents again. So I think there's like something in his mind, if he's thinking about his injury or something, that's kind of held him back, and it's affecting his posture and how he carries himself. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, glad it wasn't just me.
No.
Is there any other men you'd like to discuss?
I don't think so.
Okay. I just want to mention that I think overall in this
Hmm.
competition, but it's really prevalent in the men's. China had a really good representation at these
Yeah.
competitions. Same with Australia.
Yeah.
Kudos to Mark Webster from Australia with that short program to the Nutcracker, was it? Or did you catch Mark Webster?
I didn't. No.
Oh, okay. Well, those of you who saw him, that was something very interesting and almost the best way possible to watch. So,
I should check it out.
yes, and let me know what you think. Oh, I
Hmm.
did also want to mention one of my favorite male skaters is Julian ZGE of
Hmm.
Malaysia, Southeast Asia represent. My parents are from
Yes.
Cambodia, but
Hmm.
not great performance here.
No.
Suffered in the short and the
Hmm.
long, and that's unfortunate because I think it took away from the performance quality that he has. But hey, this is a lesson learned experience before he heads off to Worlds
Yeah, I was
next month.
expecting to see a little more from him because he's had some decent results internationally, I
Yeah.
think, over the past few years. Yeah, it was
Mm-hmm.
disappointing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So we wish the best on him. Do we want to discuss Ice Dance next?
Sure.
Okay.
So that was the big shock.
I remember watching it live, and I was
Hmm.
on Twitter. And of course, everybody, we are going to get to the drama. But let's congratulate Madison Chock and Evan Bates of the United
Mm.
States because they did deserve this gold medal.
Oh, yes.
I think it was also a blessing in disguise. I can't remember who else I talked to about that phrase, but they were off the ice for 10-ish months or so because of Madison's injury, and they just came back to U.S. Nationals this season, and where they really made a splash, and they are just continuing to ride the tide internationally. So this was a
Yep.
really great showing for them, and I believe they now have the highest score behind Papadakis and Cizeron of
Oh,
France
wow.
internationally. Yeah, heading into World. So that's gonna play around with people's predictions for the dance podium in
Hmm.
Japan next month. But it was great to see the fan favorite free dance win the competition.
Hmm. Yeah. So for me, I have a little bit of a criticism.
Go for it.
It's not just of Madison and Evan, but it's really this season I've noticed uh, that camp in Montreal have taken on a lot of new teams,
So many.
so many, and it makes me wonder, like how much individual time each team are really getting. Like with Marie France and yeah, very little, I would imagine. And I also have found that the music choices, not for all the teams, but for several of them, haven't been what they could have been. Just that music editing for me has been a little bit sloppy. I don't know. I don't
Even
think everyone.
in the free dance for Chalk and Bates.
Yeah, and I don't
Okay.
think everyone feels that way because I know that people really love that. But for me, there's just like there's something missing. I don't know.
Okay. What
Yeah.
about the actual skating?
Yeah, no, I did see a refinement there, and I think for the teams that go to Montreal, they all see that. Like
Hmm.
that does seem to be their specialty. It may not be so much the performance because it's a lot of the times that's already there. It's the refinement of like the skating skills and things like that. And so I have seen improvement there, and I actually really like Madison and Evan. I would say that they're my favorite U.S. team. They have been for a number of years, really since Meryl and Charlie have been out of it. They've been my favorite, so I'm really happy to see them back.
Yeah, Madison Chalk has received a lot of criticism in the past
Yeah.
for her skating skills, mainly the lack of depth in the edge. But I think I see some improvement there. Also,
Mhm.
some better lines. She's always sold the program really well. I mean,
Oh
she
yeah.
is beautiful. And I
Yes.
think this free dance really plays to their new strengths, especially towards the end. Those are very unique and intricate lifts that look very
Mm.
difficult to do. And
Yeah.
sometimes doing those lifts, like they sacrifice speed. But I think with each competition, that portion of the free dance is getting better. So kudos to them.
Yes, absolutely. Hmm.
Yeah. And then we have Kaitlyn Weaver and Andrew Poje. A really, really narrow win of the silver medal over Piper and Paul, fellow Canadians, like about 1 point difference. So it was close.
Yeah, I think their strong suit, I said in the past, it's the rhythm dance. I think they have one of the best rhythm dance programs of the season. I think the Libertango is just it's very sensual, and I think Kaitlyn's dress is beautiful, and it just all really melds well together. And I think it's because they performed that program during the Thank You Canada tour, so they had a lot of time to train it and things like that. I think it was disappointing just for me because I'm such a big fan of Kaitlyn and Andrew to see this was the competition that they were really going to be compared to the likes of Madison and Evan and Hubbell and Donohue as well. So I think it was disappointing that they were kind of, you know, the bottom of that pile of skaters.
Yeah, because there's a gap.
The judges really made it clear here that, you know, the two top American teams are really who they're propelling forward this season. But I mean, I think that with the way the programs are, it's just in a certain sense, because I've not been the biggest fan of their free dance all season, really. I think they have some wonderful moments in the beginning. I think they have some great lifts, and I love her split lift. I think the line is just beautiful there, but I think as the music kind of drones on, there needs to be like a change of tempo or something, because once you kind of see the elegance of the first few minutes, it kind of, you know, falls away.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. I just spoke with my friend on Twitter, Aaron Conley, who was like, I consider an expert in ice dance. And we talked about how I think in ice dance, the music choice is extremely pivotal on your performance throughout the entire season. Because I've been known to say for the singles disciplines, you know, like I'm not too picky about music choice. I really am not, because I believe that a skater being really comfortable in a program or landing their jumps and being clean can really make a bad music choice seem okay. But with ice dance, it's almost like you make the wrong music choice, you're kind of screwed the entire season. And I think Piper and Paul show how choosing the right music benefits you, because their free dance to Starry Night has really elevated them. Maybe not in the judges' scores, but at least with fans and the viewers. And whereas with Madison, Hubbell, and Zachary Donohue, the Romeo and Juliet free dance has not been well received. So that's kind of held them back, despite being undefeated this season prior to Four Continents.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. I think for me, the free dance of Piper and Paul's is the best of the season. I mean, I'm sure not everyone feels that way. But I mean, here it was rewarded, and it's consistently been scored now at nationals and here at an international competition above Kaitlyn Weaver and Andrew Poje. And I think rightfully so. Like, I know a few people who attended the Four Continents, actually, and they said that that was really the program that was the moment, that the crowd really felt off the energy of that program. And I mean, it comes across just from watching the video on YouTube. I mean, it's, to me, they really connect with that music. And you could see after they finished it, their coaches, one of their coaches said, Tracy, she was like, congratulations on 4 minutes of magic, you guys. So, I mean, that program is magic. You can't put it any better way.
Yeah, their free dance was, I'm looking at the protocols here, their free dance was second overall, and that was with a 1 point deduction for the extended lift. And I'm looking at the protocols, really high level of grade of execution marks. Because sometimes I think that can make or break a ice dance score. You know, everyone has your base values. You just complete it. You know, lower level team will get a lot of +1s, +2s. But yeah, Piper and Paul, I see some +5s, +4s. And then you go down to the program component marks, there's some solid 9s across the board and quite a few 10s from the judges. So they're doing something right. I imagine they feel a little frustrated because they're not rising in the ranks. I mean, they almost didn't land on the podium here. But I think if they just keep their head in the game, you never know what could happen at Worlds. Something interesting to note is I know Piper started a GoFundMe page because she wants to update her free dance dress for Worlds, and so people are making donations to it. And I'm excited to see what the dress does, if it brings an extra level of magic at the World Figure Skating Championships.
Maybe they should update the rhythm dance dress.
The rhythm dance. Wrong dress, honey.
Yeah, I think the free dance is fine. Don't change anything.
Yeah, maybe if, she gets a lot of donations, maybe, make embellishments to the short. There's many things you can do. Yeah. So now it's Madison, Hubbell, and Zachary Donohue. Wow, was that dramatic. And I'm not going to lie, I watched it live. They were first after the rhythm dance, and I think actually rightfully so in my opinion. In the free dance, it just looked like they were on their way to winning. But then it took forever for them to get their scores. That is never a good sign. Just saying, never. And let's just say no one had a poker face, and including no one in the audience, and it was shocking because the score was drastically low. I mean, you're talking about people who were expected to win this competition and then dropping off in ice dance. And I don't think that always happens in ice dance, but that's what happens when, I guess, your opening stationary lift is not so stationary. So I think the tech caller said that Zach had traveled quite a bit and that it just got base value points, so no levels, which is a huge deal. I've heard everyone talk about it, and as I usually do, I just sit back and absorb. I'm not gonna lie, I do see some traveling, but they've also done similar kind of traveling on that spin earlier in this season, and the tech caller was not harsh on them, so I don't know if there was extra traveling due to nerves, but overall, I think it's a wake-up call for them that they should be perfect for Worlds.
I think it's interesting to note that maybe there was some politics going on here, and maybe it was a way of the judges to kind of let them know that they really have to bring it if they want to stay ahead of, because I would say that they were the favorites for the silver medal up until now. So I think that's been called into question. Their programs have not been my favorite this season. I'll say that. I mean, there's so many skaters doing Romeo and Juliet. I mean, if you're going to do it, it has to be something creative at this point.
Across all disciplines. Like,
yes.
I would see a Romeo and Juliet go clubbing, ice dance, free dance. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah. Yeah, to me, that's the best one, just because it's so different.
Yes.
Yeah. Clubbing.
Yeah, right? And then we have Kaitlyn Hawayak and Jean-Luc Baker, a fan favorite for a lot of Americans. What do you think of them?
Yeah, so I really like them. I mean, they've been known for many years as the up-and-comers. Well, not for many years, but like in recent years as the up-and-comers. Yeah. But this year, I think they qualified for the Grand Prix final. That was a big step for them. But I mean, here we saw, again, like, they were really ranked below the top, say, 1 to 4. It was made clear that they are not in contention for a medal or anything like that. But I mean, who knows in a couple of years where they might end up. For me, I like the free dance music choice better than the rhythm dance. However, it was a weird feeling for me watching it because I could see the music connect to Jean-Luc better than I could see it to Hawaii. So I don't know. That was a weird thing that came across for me. I don't know if you noticed that.
I'd agree with that. I think it's more of an expression in pairs where the guy is supposed to show off the lady. But I think a lot of people in the audience are drawn to Jean-Luc because he is an amazing skater. No disrespect to Kaitlyn, but John is extra special with those deep edges.
Yeah, he is very special. I would wonder what would happen if he had a different partner. I don't know.
Yeah, well, they're in Montreal for the first season. Who knows how things will go the next few seasons. I think some people believe that some dance teams may leave Montreal in the future. I'm not going to speculate who, but so we'll keep an eye out on what happens in Montreal. Then we have, is it your Canadians?
Yes, my favorite Canadians.
You'll be so proud of me. I watched them, and I watched them live, and I tweeted using your name, and I can see why you love them now. They are really good, really sensual, or if I must say sexual, like, whoa.
I know. I think that's what really draws me to them is because that's something that I don't think we really see from all of the other dance teams. I think the connection of those two really supersede perhaps the others in that sense. And my favorite of the two programs is the free dance. Did you watch that one?
Oh yeah, all of it.
Oh yeah, okay. So I was watching the Eurosport commentator for that one, and I was getting kind of frustrated with him because he said that he found that there was like something missing with that program, and that and he thought that it was like it was great and it really showed the flamenco, but like there was like a storyline missing or something. I don't agree. I think that
I knew the storyline, and I'm ice dance stupid. Okay.
Yeah, right? Me too. Like I'm not the most knowledgeable on ice dance either, but I've that from the moment I saw that free dance. Normally it takes me a while to warm up to a program, but for that one it was immediate. Just like the way she touches her dress and the way that they make eye contact even is
Yeah,
wow.
I would even say that both of them like exude ice dance from like the tip of their fingers to like the bottom of their toes, if that's an
Yeah.
expression. Like, yeah, I actually think they could rival for a silver medal at Canadian Nationals in a few years.
Yeah, and for me, in my opinion, they were so clearly better than Hawaii and Baker. I mean, I
I
don't.
was actually surprised they placed below them.
I think it had to do just with Hawaii and Baker's success earlier this season, and this new success is and representing Canada is a new thing for them. So I think it's just going to take a while for them to get into the groove, which is unfortunate because I think that free dance deserves the recognition it deserves, but it won't see it this year. I don't think. Maybe they'll keep it. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I did watch an interview on them about the citizenship issue. So
Yeah.
they used to represent Denmark. It sounds like the thing is they were training in Canada for almost
Yes.
a decade, and then they had issues going to the Olympics with the Denmark Federation. And so they decided, hey, they've lived in Canada permanently quite a while, so they were able to change their country of affiliation. So, I mean, why not take advantage of your opportunities that the sport
I
has
know.
allowed?
And I mean, we're really thankful to have them here in Canada. I know that for sure. I've seen a couple different things. I've seen what you said, but I also saw somewhere where he said he was hopeful to get that Denmark citizenship come the next Olympic cycle.
Oh,
So
okay.
I don't know what the truth is. Maybe someone knows.
Yeah, right. Or maybe it's a blend of everything. You know, what if
Yeah.
this, what if that? Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay. We are going to wrap things up with pairs. And the main storyline here was the return of Wen Jingsui and Kong Han of China.
Yeah.
And boy, did they just narrowly win the competition
Yeah.
over Canadians Kirsten Moore Towers and Michael Marinero. I mean, let's look at the score. 211.11 for Sui and Han, and then 211.05. And
Yeah.
Sui and Han were not perfect in the short or the long. Wen Jingsui, I believe, was the one with the injury, which is why they were out
Yes.
all season. And so she had falls in both the short and the long program, unfortunately. But they do have amazing skating skills, performance quality. The programs work really well for them, and everything else is really first rate. So that's why they were
Yeah.
able to rack up the points to win the title. I actually think I would phrase it as Kirsten and Michael lost the title because they had an issue with the reverse lasso lift. So that was unfortunate.
That was actually a little frightening to watch because you weren't quite sure what was going to happen with that. So I'm glad that it wasn't much worse than what it could have been.
Yeah.
But I'm overall really excited to see Sui and Han back. They're always were one of my favorite peers teams. I think the fact that they just narrowly defeated Kirsten and Michael shows that perhaps they are not the favorite going into Worlds. I think they could get a medal, of course. But I don't think that really Vanessa James and Morgan Cypre of France are really in jeopardy at this point in time of losing the title should they skate clean. And rightfully so. I mean, they have had the results this season, and they have some really special programs. So I will say, though, with Sui and Han's free skate, that even with the mistakes, that was my favorite free skate of the Peers event.
Yeah, and the choreography is really special.
Wow. Yeah.
Sometimes, like talk about transitions in and out of jumps, and transitions between the jumping elements and pairs are really like dangerous, but also spectacular. And Wen Jingsui sometimes is on one foot transitioning between a jump to the next element. Like, wow. And Kong Han has really proven that his height being so close to Wen Jingsui's is not a detrimental factor to their partnership.
No, and they do the triple twist with the arm over their head, which every time I see it, it's like, wow, like, some of like the taller teams, don't even attempt that. So That just goes to show. I love like the little features, like in the step sequence. You know, they hit every beat of that music, and you can even tell. I think I heard somewhere that this is only the third time that they've really ran through this free skate in its entirety. So can you only imagine what this will be like, even come Worlds, just in that short amount of time? Like it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, or if anything's after Worlds, like World Team Trophy or anything like that. I'm going to keep my eye out for that performance.
I hope they keep it.
Yes, I hope so too.
Yeah.
I have a nickname for Kirsten Mortowers.
Okay.
I called her Sparkles Mortowers, and I think that's very appropriate. Her short program dress, very sparkly. It was great to see them. I think they haven't looked this good all season long, not even at Canadian Nationals. So it was great to see them look really comfortable with their programs. I think not making the Grand Prix final, having some time off, maybe learning at Canadian Nationals that, you know, Evelyn and Trent are going to keep them on their toes. So they worked really hard, and I can tell that I think they were really clean for them, and the judges did reward them a little bit with program component marks. But like I said, it was that lift. Ooh, Kirsten did not have a poker face, but it was safe, and that's really all that matters.
Yeah, they're a great example of a disappointment leading to success, because they didn't make the final, but yet they have shown such great improvement. And I have full confidence that they're going to skate their best. They're going to peak for Worlds. I just have that feeling. I don't want to jinx them, but I just feel it. I think I'm safe saying that they're going to have their best skate to come. And the only thing they need to work on, in my opinion, is the twist, because
yes, I was going to say that.
Because it's just not their strongest element. They're really, really good side-by-side jumpers, and they're really good throw jumpers, and typically their lifts are solid as well, but they tend to always get very low GOE on the twist, or even, I think here they got a negative GOE.
Yeah.
So that really affects it.
Actually, I also think they could work on the throw jumps. Don't get me wrong, Kirsten is a cat and lands them.
Yeah.
I think there could be more height and distance. Like sometimes it may be the camera angle, so don't come at me, but sometimes it just looks so short and quick. And like when it's landed, I'm like, how did Kirsten do that? But I think it's all Kirsten.
Yeah. No, that's a fair comment to make. I mean, I'm just really really drawn in by her landings, I think is what it is.
There you go. And then we have in third place, Chang Peng and Yang Jin of China, I think safely securing themselves as China's number 2 pair.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal for them. We know a few seasons ago the pair partner swatching by the Chinese Federation happened, and that threw everybody off. It even threw the skaters off a little bit, I think. And I think Chang and Yang have really gelled nicely together in just a few short seasons. Like they look like happier skaters together, and they have some really nice programs. The short is to Ophelia, which is a very Western choice.
It is.
You know, not bashing her or anything. It's just different, and you know, I think it's more dramatic in the free skate. Not clean, but still enjoyable. You know, I think in the short, it's weird to see a Chinese girl fall on a throw jump. Yeah, but she fell on I think stepped out of her side-by-side jump in the free skate. So I think that held them back. I'm trying to think. Yeah, they fell on the throw triple loop. So that's something unusual for a Chinese pair. But they looked overall happy with the bronze medal. So good for them.
I really like them. I think they look really good together on the ice. I think that's really interesting music choices as well. But for me, the music choice doesn't quite fit the skaters. Just my opinion. I know people love the programs, but I think they're good music choices. I don't know. I think to see them skate to something maybe more lyrical is probably up their alley a little bit more. I don't know. maybe in the future. Yeah.
And then we have Ashley Kane and Timothy LeDuc of the United States really wanting that bronze medal, but not this year. I will say that was a very respectable skate for them. They skated really well in the short program, like to the naked eye, really clean. I know they were a little disappointed in their score, but if you looked at the protocols, really they did not get all of their levels on I think the lifts and even on the triple twists. And the program component marks, they still need time to get them up there where it needs to be. I think they're really shooting for the stars, but I think how they skated here was really where they need to be.
Yeah, no, I really like them. I think they've become perhaps my favorite US pair team above the Kinnearums at this point in time. I just really love their music choices, and they do have a musicality to them. Like, it's not just technical, which is often what we sometimes see in the peers. But with them, they really connect with the music, and I like to see the revamp music from the free skate, because that is a piece of music that was made popular by Evgenia Medvedeva, of course. So I really like their little take on it.
You know, I would really like to see an elevated short program. I think they had the right idea. I don't think that kind of super playfulness where it turns into goofy garners higher program component marks. Like, be playful, yes, but, you know, there's a way to make it extra more sophisticated. So that's something I would like to see. But also, what's really impressive is that they go for the side-by-side triple loops. It seems like the triple loops, though, they're landed, but it gets called under quite a few times. So I'm wondering if doing a triple loop is more susceptible to an under-rotation call due to the camera angle. And in the past, they have been known for doing side-by-side triple flips. Maybe it's time to switch over?
Yeah, and I mean, the flip is a little bit more on the base value anyway, so perhaps that's what they need to do. I think it's more so hers that gets called under, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, okay. Who knows?
Yep, that's just, a piece of advice no one asked for. And then in fifth place, I'm not going to lie, everyone watching, this is where it goes really downhill. Well, first off, I am a little bummed that there aren't more pair skaters for more countries competing here. I mean,
what was up with that?
I think, like, the Japanese team withdrew, and then I don't know the story about anybody else, but if people didn't meet, like, technical minimums or,
because even the North Korean team, I mean, I find them, like, very different and very fun to watch, and they withdrew here too, so that was unfortunate.
Yeah, so not a lot of teams, and I think from 5th to 8th, some people had promising short programs, but in the free program, I watched that live. I was like, oh my, 2 of the 4 continents are really struggling right now. And that would be the lower level Canadian and the Americans. I don't think it's even worth going into details. I think the Canadians, Evelyn Walsh and Trent McCod, had a really impressive short program, as they've always done this season for being a newer pair. I don't know what happened in the free. That was the worst they've ever done.
Yeah. It was really unfortunate, and it was unexpected, I would even say, based on what we saw from the Canadian nationals. They skated marvelously in the free skate, even executing like the side-by-side triple jump combination. Yeah. So, I mean, it was a shock to me to see. I guess it just got in their head, maybe.
Yeah, well, a learning experience for Worlds. I will take this chance to say that, yes, I was still mad that my favorite pairs girl from the United States, Deanna Stellato Dudek, and Nathan Bartolome. Did you hear about that drama?
I did, yeah.
They did not. Sorry. I still believe that they should have been here. And I said in my recap with Kanishka, like, I get it. When Tara Kane and Danny O'Shea are clean, they have a higher scoring potential, but they're not always consistent. This is for continents. Let's not make a controversial decision, but okay, USFSA. So yeah, I'm still bitter about that, so I can put that on record. Deanna would have at least graced us with some sparkly eyeshadow and a lovely Whitney Houston free skate, but my 2 cents.
What was their placement at US Nationals?
They were 3rd.
Okay. Well, that's very bizarre.
Yeah, and they weren't even listed as alternates for even the World Championships. So it shows that the U.S. Federation may not be banking on the longevity for them because of Deanna's age. But I'm sorry, have you met Deanna? She is not going to let age be a factor.
No, and we've seen some mature pairs girls have great success in the past. Oh, yeah. I don't think that means anything. No.
So yeah, we are at the end of the video. Oh my gosh, we're at 1 hour and 13 minutes. Nolan, can you believe?
Oh my goodness.
Well, we can really talk about skating. I came in thinking, it's going to be 40 minutes because, it's been a week. But we actually went through and talked about everything that was on our mind.
Yeah.
Excellent.
No, it was a fun time.
Yes, so thank you again, Nolan, for joining me. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you in another video.
Bye, guys.
Okay, goodbye.